Have you ever been on a roll in life? You're being productive, things are going well, you're on a good streak, but then suddenly, out of nowhere, you destroy all of it and end up back at square one? You start to hate yourself because you ruined everything. You fall back into depression. You feel terrible. You might as well never have even tried. You ask yourself why? How could this happen? Why did I do this to myself? What was I thinking? I lived like this for so long. It was torture. I can't count how many times this happened to me. But after all those cycles of building up and breaking down, I found the solution to escaping these cycles, and today I'm going to give it to you. This video will seriously blow your mind, and I'm very excited to share this information with you. The cycles. If you pay close attention, these cycles are very similar every time. Let's look at money, for example. You start to save up some money, but then you end up spending it all and feel terrible. Let's say you only had $1,000 left, so you started to panic and save more money. You save up until you reach $5,000, and at that point you relax and start spending money again. And of course that leads you to spending all of it and feeling terrible. The cycle always starts and ends around the same points. Imagine a pendulum. It swings from left to right at exactly the same points every single time. This is how the cycles work. You always build things up to a certain point and then break them down exactly as much as you built them up. These cycles are always happening in the background of your life, and you'll find that your everyday life usually operates between the 2 points of the swing. So going along with the money example where you panic and save at 1,000 and relax and spend at 5,000, during your everyday life you would probably have around $3,000. These cycles take place in every aspect of your life. Mental health, physical health, productivity, habits, the state of your room, your confidence, literally everything. If you thought becoming aware of these cycles was crazy, the most insane part is that all of these cycles are connected. All of them. When your money cycle is nearing its negative pole, so is your mental health, so is your confidence, so is your physical health, so is your productivity. Literally every single one of your cycles are interconnected. When your room starts to get dirty, your health starts to get worse, your productivity starts to fall off, your habits start to get bad, your confidence starts lacking, you start eating more junk food, your computer files get disorganized. It's almost scary how these cycles work and are interconnected. The good news is when you control one of the cycles, you control all of them. When you maintain your money and keep saving it, your mental health gets better, your productivity gets better, your room stays clean, you maintain good habits, you become more confident, you eat better food. The state of one of your cycles is the state of all of your cycles. Just like it is inevitable that all of them will be negative when one of them is negative, it is inevitable that all of them will be positive when one of them is positive. Now you should understand taking control of these cycles is the key to achieving anything. If you never take control of these cycles, you will be trapped forever and never get anywhere in life. Imagine if your streak of productivity and building up never ended and kept going forever. The possibilities are endless. That's why I always talk about how success comes down to your understanding of yourself. You can try and learn dropshipping or Facebook ads or copywriting all you want, but you will never get anywhere ever at all if you don't have control over yourself. And the biggest step towards getting that is conquering these cycles. Now that you understand the cycles, let's figure out how to escape them. The first thing you need to understand is that everything is your fault. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Cause and effect is a law of the universe. You cannot escape it, you reap what you sow. This is insanely important. Everything that has ever happened to you, everything that put you in the position you are currently in, has been your fault. If you don't like where you're at, it's nobody's fault but yours. Now this may offend some people, but I don't care. Stop blaming other people for things. It is always your fault. You can almost always control the situation you are in, and if you can't, you can control your perception of it. There is nobody to blame but yourself ever. For example, you hate that you can't get women. You complain that women's standards are too high these days. It is still your fault, not the women's. You might not be able to control that situation, but you can control your perception of it and say, at least this forces me to improve, I will start improving myself. Don't blame anyone but yourself. Start taking responsibility. Only you can break out of these cycles, and it is insanely important to understand that. What is someone that blames other people for everything, never takes responsibility for themselves, and hopes that other people will save them? A child. That is a child, not an adult. If you are unhealthy, or you are ugly, or you are broke, or you hate yourself, it is nobody's fault but yours. Those effects are there because of causes you enacted. Those are reactions to actions you have taken in your past. Next, you need to understand denial. Living in denial is when you act like a child and refuse to accept responsibility for your own actions. This is a guaranteed way to live a horrible life and be stuck in these cycles forever. The reason I was stuck in these cycles for so long was that I would trick myself into thinking I could take an action and not face the consequences. That's why I drilled so hard on everything being your fault. You have to understand that every cause has an effect, and that is an immutable, unchangeable, inescapable law of the universe. I would be on a good sleep schedule, almost escaping the cycle, but then I would trick myself into thinking sleeping in for a bit more is not a big deal. And of course it was a big deal, and it would always start the negative cycle again and make me feel terrible about myself and ruin everything. You will get these thoughts all the time, trying to trick you into thinking indulging is fine, but that will always be the thing that will lead you back into the negative cycle. You know that indulgence will inevitably lead to the destruction of everything you've just built up, but you deny it. You trick yourself into thinking you can do it and not face the consequences. When you are able to recognize that thought as being a trick, you will be able to avoid the trap and keep the positive streak of productivity and progress going. That streak really has no reason to end unless you trick yourself into ending it. You must face the truth. You know that every cause has an effect. Stop lying to yourself and take responsibility for your actions. Stop running away from your pain and problems in life. Stop avoiding them and stop distracting yourself. Accept that you have pain and you have problems, and realize that you are in control to change them. In life, you get what you put in. Yes, everything is your fault, but that means that the control is 100% in your hands. If you want to succeed, you are perfectly capable of doing that. It is up to you. It is your choice. Nobody is going to wake up in the morning and say, I want to make Giacomo rich. I want to get Giacomo more women. If you want those things, it is completely up to you to go get them. How do you counter the negative pendulum swing? As you build things up, there will be more and more thoughts about indulging. More and more thoughts trying to trick you into destroying what you've just built. To counter these, recognize them for what they are. Tricks that will destroy everything if you let them. You can't do something and not face the consequences. Realize that if you let that thought have its way, it will lead to nothing but destruction. Then ruthlessly cut off that thought and work even harder. These thoughts are dangerous. You can't afford to let them live. Don't just put them off and push them away. Face them head on and tell yourself what they are. Say out loud to yourself, this thought will destroy me if I let it. I am not listening to it. You'll get better at recognizing these thoughts and countering these cycles as time goes on. You will have to truly face this and work on it as you go. You might even face a couple more building up then destruction cycles, but you must keep at it. You will get much better with time. To wrap this up, you must observe and understand your cycles. You must take responsibility for your actions. You must stop living in denial and just face your problems, and then ruthlessly destroy the thoughts trying to trick you into indulging. You now know everything you need to in order to beat these cycles and achieve anything in life. Never forget what I've told you. This is incredibly important. This is absolutely life-changing information once you learn to apply it. Return to this video whenever you need and share it with someone else who's struggling with these cycles. Like the video if you learned something, and subscribe if you want to learn more next time. Join my newsletter to get more life-changing information like this every week, all for free, and you can read all my previous newsletters at o3giacomo.com. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day.